It's time for Dodger baseball.
Swung on and missed a perfect game.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter.
The Dodgers are going to the World Series.
Bellinger hammers the ball. It's Bellinger's turn. Lifts a fly ball to left center field. Back towards the wall. It is gone. Mookie with another 3-home run game.
And welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. What did we just watch? My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me at DMac_LA. That's at DMac_LA. The comment section is lighting up. I know you guys want blood for Kenley Jansen. Look, it was not Game 7 of the World Series, and both teams weren't even playing like it was Game 7 of the World Series, but that's a game you have to get. It was the first time the Astros have been back to Dodger Stadium since 2018, and they lost that game 14-0, and Kenley Jansen, 5 runs. He blows a 3-run lead there in the bottom of the ninth. We're going to break down all of tonight's action, but the first thing I want to say is Kenley Jansen. Can we count on Kenley Jansen in the postseason? The answer is no. I know that I'm not going to make too much out of tonight, but look, we are almost at postseason time, and we just cannot have that kind of performance. And if you've been watching the Dodgers recently, you saw that coming. He's been shaky his last 4 appearances, and tonight the bubble burst. Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn there with some of his targets, and Kenley Jansen unfortunately blows it for the Dodgers tonight. And I think this leadership with Dave Roberts, Andrew Freeman, they need to take a long look at the closer position. If they want to do closer by committee, I understand. But we got so many comments, so we're going to jump right into here. I'm going to get to as many of you guys as I can tonight. But give me your fire Dodger takes. But first, let me know where you're representing Dodgers Nation tonight. Where you trashing the Astros? Where you hurting tonight? Because that was a tough watch to see that. We're going to break down all tonight's action. We got Clay Dunsmore. I tell you, we got No from Wilfredo. Jansen sucks from Nikki. Time for Bazooka from Chuck Peraldo. We got Poncho. Good way to blow a game. Gratterall can close from Mel over on Twitch. Greg. He needs to go from Diana. Wilfredo, yeah, he is. Jay Kelly as closer from Michael Smith. Hey, that's what I've been saying if you've been watching the show. If Joe Kelly comes back and he looks healthy and he gets hot, that's the guy I want to look at for the closer position. I want to give Joe Kelly a look at the closer spot. Only issue I have with Joe Kelly and what happened last time is the fact that he missed on that throw, because Joe Kelly, he's got that fire and tenacity that this team needs. And Kenley Jansen, I don't want to hear all this stuff that, oh, there's no fans in the stands and this and that. You're playing the Houston Astros. You got to shut that game down, because you know it means a lot to this franchise. I'm not saying that this game is going to determine any postseason success or lack thereof, but tonight was a big game, especially considering the fact that the Padres are hot on the Dodgers' heels, and the Dodgers' record after today now 32-14, 3 games up of the San Diego Padres, and next week a big series in San Diego. The Dodgers' 8th consecutive NL West streak could be in jeopardy, and tonight a bad loss by the Los Angeles Dodgers. Offensively, lots of strikeouts for the Dodgers. 12 strikeouts for your boys in blue tonight. And so the Dodgers offensively scored enough runs, at those 2 back-to-back home runs on 2 pitches from Chris Taylor and Kike Hernandez. Another great night from Corey Seager, who gets his first triple of the year. But unfortunately, the Astros get 1 in the 8th and 5 big runs in the 7th, in the 9th inning, and a sour feeling and to see the Houston Astros come in there and win. But let's jump into this comment section, guys. Keep firing away. If I don't get to your comment at first, I'm going to keep rolling back here. They're going really fast. But here we go. We got Nathan. Sign Russell Martin to be closer. Adriana Jansen cannot get the job done. F. Kenley from Steve Leberton over on Facebook. Jansen is done from Louis. Yeah, hey, man. Kenley Jansen, this has been coming for quite some time. He's been on the decline for a couple years now, and I'm not going to say that I'm done with Kenley Jansen because the Dodgers still can use him out of the bullpen, and he can still be a viable option if he's locating his cutter and his four-seamer and working in that slider. But tonight was not a good sign because this wasn't a great Astros team. This is an Astros team that has lost 8 of their last 10 games. This is an Astros team where in the previous 26 innings, they had scored 5 runs before dropping 5 runs in that 9th inning right there. So it's not like this is the juggernaut sign-stealing Astros that we've known, but the cheats the cheats get the win today. And here, jump back into this comment section here, guys. We got dude is still Brian F. Jansen. He's not the closer anymore. Look, I'm not ready to say he's not the closer anymore, but I've been saying for years that it's closer by committee. Another issue I have there too is Kenley Jansen goes up there, gets no outs for Kenley Jansen, and he gives up 5 hits. He gives up 5 hits, 5 runs. He's got no outs. After 3, maybe you put a call into that bullpen, right? I mean, you got Dave Roberts, who loves to go out there whenever someone's struggling. Doesn't like to let pitchers get into the 6th inning. Tonight, Julio Urias did a nice job. We probably won't even talk about Julio Urias. We had a pretty decent night there. And then Kenley Jansen goes out there, and he stinks up the joint, and you don't have a guy warming up. I think that was bad managing for Dave Roberts. I've been a big defender of Dave Roberts, but tonight, a bad night for Doc and a very bad night for Kenley Jansen, who just did not get the job done. Like I said, can he be trusted? And this could be a good thing for the Dodgers. Let me tell you why. Because it happens with a few weeks left. We're basically over 2 weeks before postseason play, and if Kenley Jansen goes out there and stinks up the bed in the postseason, then these comments are really, really lighting up. It's lighting up like a Christmas tree right now, but if it was the postseason that happens, I know how it goes down. So for it to happen now, and in a relatively meaningless game as far as standings go, yes, the Dodgers, they're going to make the postseason regardless, and you want to win that 8th straight NL West title, but now the Dodgers understand that Kenley Jansen, they need to reconsider his role as the closer of this team, because you don't just give him that closer and say it's over with. Look, if you look at Kenley Jansen, last few years, his velocity has been on the decline. This has been trending in that direction. He's been trending downward for years now, and there was a lot of talk about the uptick in his velocity, but if you look at it this year, it's already down. The cutter velocity, the four-seamer velocity is slightly down, so never put Muncy on third. Yeah, Max Muncy on that play right there did not help him out. Max Muncy has been a train wreck defensively. We need Justin Turner back. Send those Justin Turner vibes back. I'm telling you, he is the milk to our cereal. He's the son of the Dodgers. We revolve around that ginger Jesus. He is the Dodgers core, and you understand that if you watch this team. Fire his ass from Tavo. That was ugly from James. Jose Rod, if his heart ain't good, then sit out. You're hurting the team more by playing. Jansen has it. We got Mora. I feel so bad for him. No one hates what he did more than he does. Mora, that's a great point. I don't think, I'm not saying, Kenley Jansen as a human being is a fantastic guy, and this is really on the Dodgers, plus the Dodgers for putting him in this situation continuously. Tonight he didn't have it. For the most part, Kenley Jansen has had a better year than he has last year, where he basically broke all of his records as far as most blown saves, most home runs given up, and unfortunately, Kenley Jansen, tonight, you blow a big game because, yes, this was a regular season game, but this was not a regular season game. This game was important. It was not the World Series, but you saw this morning, you had Dodgers Nation out there giving the Astros the business, giving them a cheater's welcome, a much-deserved cheater's welcome, and Dodger fans wanted this game. It's hater time for Michael Ford. A little too late for that. Randy, I just blanked and threw up at the same time. Randy, don't make me laugh too much here, man. Anthony, Astros... it's about time he was removed from the closer spot from Willie. We got Jose. Why wasn't he pulled after he couldn't get anyone out after the third bat? I just mentioned that at some point, get someone up. Adam Clark has been very effective out of the bullpen spot, and if he doesn't have it, and you saw this guy could not hit the broadside of a barn out there, and at that point, you have to understand he just didn't have it. Yes, he was getting guys into 0-2 holes, but look, I mean, he just basically got bat pipped to death right there. The batting average of balls in play in that inning, they were all dropping into left center, and unfortunately, Kenley Jansen could not get the job done. like I was saying, he's been shaky his last 4 outings. Tonight, the bubble burst. The question is, can we rely on Kenley Jansen in the postseason? I think it's an emphatic no after tonight because, yes, the Astros have struggled all year, and tonight they were without the buzzer boy. There was no Jose Altuve out there, so they're a capable offense, and tonight you saw the Astros played up for this game, a big-time comeback for the Trastros late there. But here we go. Hader trade coming in the offseason. Muncy cannot play third base. From Sanjay, we got David Grant. We got Jansen. He was missing Smith's setup. Yeah, I was saying that, Mario. He was missing Smith's setup a lot during that inning, and unfortunately, he was not able to get it together. We want to break it down. Well, let's jump into these comments here. There's so many comments tonight, guys. Keep lighting it up. Let this show. This is your show. My name is Doug McCain, man of the fan. You guys, the fan, is basically your show to get it off your chest. Say it with your chest. Give me those fire Dodger takes. And by the way, it's a good time to let you know to subscribe to the new podcast, Dodgers Nation, Dodgers Dugout, wherever you get your podcasts, on Apple, Spotify, wherever. And you're going to see your comments on the podcast tomorrow. It's a condensed version of the show with additional post-game reaction and analysis. But let's jump back into these comments. Let Betts close, Christian. I've been saying that too. Mookie Betts has solved all the problems for this team, right? If you look at this Dodgers offense, the Dodgers offense has pretty much been humming all season long. Number 1 in home runs. Got a couple more today. Batting average, they're 11th at 252. OPSing, they're 4th. Number 1 in hard contact. But unfortunately, Mookie Betts, he's the best right fielder in the game, and I think one of the best right fielders of all time, especially when you factor in defense and offense. So you have Mookie Betts. He probably, if anything Mookie does, Mookie's great at, and it's always a great day when you watch Mookie Betts play baseball. But here we go. We got Doug Crosby replying to, we got Michael. Jansen has been going downhill for a couple years. He's done. Randy, I'm sick. Mr. Gonzalez, Jansen lost it for us. He also let the Padres creep up. Yeah, there's been multiple instances this year, and I just want to reiterate, Kenley Jansen has had his moments this year. Against Anaheim, he had a great save. He has had good saves this year. He was the reliever of the year for August. It's not like he's been mincemeat this whole year. It's not like he's been a can of sardines. He has been, for the most part, a big-time contributor to one of the best bullpens in Major League Baseball. Right now, the Dodger bullpen, last 14 games, a 3.78 ERA. That's 10th lowest in Major League Baseball. And this year, they've been in the top 2. So there's been a little bit of a slide with this Dodger bullpen, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that the starters aren't going past 6 innings. Well, you got that tonight in Julio Urias, and it wasn't Julio's best start, but Julio Urias, he goes 6 innings, marking the 15th time this year, only the 15th time this year that a Dodger starter has reached the 6th inning plateau. But wow, disappointing. Let me know, who do you guys blame tonight's loss on? Was it Kenley? Was it Dave Roberts? Was it the Trastros? What do you guys have to say? Let me know. Bum, God save me. Joseph Padilla. We got Jansen is effing done from Lio. We got he almost lost the game when they played the Diamondbacks. Yeah, he's had some rough outings, okay? And Kenley Jansen, the last 4 games, like I said, he has been shaky. And unfortunately, tonight, it just reared its ugly head on a nationally televised game. By the way, shout out to the people who did the Beat the Sheets banner, bang, bang. And unfortunately, it was a bang-bang inning for the Astros, putting up runs, getting a crooked number, putting up a 5 spot on Kenley Jansen. This was supposed to be a coronation show, a celebration. But unfortunately, guys, the reason why you love baseball is because you just can't predict this thing. Baseball is a cruel, cruel sport sometime. And unfortunately, Kenley Jansen does not get the job done. But let me know down below in the comments. I want a one-name answer. One-name answer. Who, if you don't, you can say Kenley too. You can still say Kenley because you can make an argument that Kenley Jansen, when he's on, is capable of getting those final 3 outs. But who do you think should be the closer for the Los Angeles Dodgers? Let me know down below in the comment section, guys. But yeah, Kenley Jansen, he gave up Kenley Jansen, he gave up the thing about Kenley Jansen, too, is the home runs. As long as he keeps the ball in the ballpark, his home runs per 9, it was hovering at 1.6 last year and getting close to 2 and climbing up there. This year, even though he's struggled, he's only given up his last home run was against Arizona. He gave that bomb against Arizona, and he gave up and he gave 3 runs against the Diamondbacks in that inning where he almost blew it. And then, of course, the Brandon Belt home run with his first blown save of the year against the San Francisco Giants. So if Kenley Jansen can keep the ball in the yard, you like your chances. But today it was not happening for Kenley Jansen. The Dodgers take the loss. They now fall to 32-14. 32-14, still the best record in Major League Baseball. Still great to be a Dodger fan but the Dodgers, a couple weeks to go in the season, they have to right the ship in certain areas. They got to plug some holes because there are some leaks. But here we go. We got Gratterall. We got Kelly. Give Gratterall the chance from Manuel Estrada. Hey, I love me some Brother Gatorade, some Bazooka. Now, the only thing with Gratterall, is he too young? Does he have a sense for the moment to get those final 3 outs? Now, a case can be made that having a dominant closer is overrated. If you look at the last 3 or 4 World Series champions, save for Aroldis Chapman, there hasn't been a dominant lights-out closer. If you look at the Astros in 2017, they had Ken Giles, and Ken Giles had like a 27 ERA in that ALCS, and then they went closer by committee, had some starters close out games. And then if you look at last year, Doolittle, that bullpen was not on fire. So, yes, I think the Dodgers, like I've said all season long, they have to score their way to a World Series title. They have to rake their way to a World Series title. And unfortunately, the Dodgers, not very many runners on base tonight. The Dodgers went 2 for 4 with runners in scoring position tonight, but 12 strikeouts for a team that's averaging just under 8 strikeouts per game, and we know that that's an issue for the Dodgers. Get a new closer. We have a good bullpen. Still time to make adjustments for the playoffs. That's from Tammy. And you hit that right on that's big facts over there, Tammy, because, yes, there's still time to make some adjustments. And this couldn't have happened at a better time if you look at, hey, this is a wake-up call. This is a wake-up call for the Dodger bullpen, for the starting staff. We got to get guys healthy. We got some great news today in the fact that Dustin May does not have a fractured leg. That's just a contusion. And then Walker Buehler's blister. So there's a lot of uncertainty with this Dodger team right now. And unfortunately tonight, Kenley Jansen, he blows that lead. And look, the thing that really hurts is the fact that this was not a good Astros team. This is an under 500 Astros team that's scratching and clawing to make the postseason, and you put up 6 in the final 2 innings, and you beat the Dodgers, and it was just not a good look. It just had very, very tough watch tonight to watch the Dodgers lose and fall to the Astros. Now, of course, there's title in 2017. That'll forever be tainted, but if you look at the Astros, man, they have had success at Dodger Stadium, and it really was like reliving a nightmare there. Felt a lot like Game 2 in 2017. So, yes, the opponent matters in that case, but let's break down this game here. Let's jump back into this. It wasn't all bad tonight for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Padres swept the Astros from Andres Wilfredo Cordova. If they don't make it to the World Series, we have to make some changes. Absolutely, Wilfredo. I agree with you 100% on that one. I think you will see some wholesale changes. Not really wholesale changes, but I think some minor tweaks to some of the bullpen pieces and definitely the closer spot and the starting rotation if the Dodgers don't. I don't know. I've been, like I said earlier in the year, I think that you kind of give some of these guys the pandemic pass. They're going to be in a bubble. Will there be a lot of activity in the offseason? That remains to be seen. But this is a franchise that is desperate to win a World Series and end that World Series drought. This franchise should have a World Series it has not won a World Series since 1988, and that just can't be the case. This franchise needs a World Series, and tonight was a reminder that this team, despite having the best record in Major League Baseball, is not a perfect team. This is not the 1998 Yankees right here. This team definitely has some things, some loose ends they need to tie up before the postseason begins. So I think with Kenley Jansen, like I said, the decreasing pitch velocity, he's had a decline in spin rate on his fastball and cutter, and tonight he just wasn't locating. So when Kenley Jansen is not attacking hitters in the strike zone and missing pitches, and you saw right there he was clearly missing the target on Will Smith, nights like this are going to happen because he doesn't have the velocity to throw it by guys anymore. He just doesn't. That's the reality, okay? He went to driveline. If you look at the numbers, those numbers indicate that there isn't some massive velocity uptick. Kershaw's had a slight one, and definitely it's really improved his ability on the mound. But Kenley Jansen, unfortunately tonight, wasn't the night. I still believe in him as a piece of this bullpen, but to me, is he the answer at the closer spot? Because, look, especially in that wild card series. The wild card series, that 3-game series right there. Can you imagine Kenley Jansen? I couldn't. It'd be tough to watch if we were only up by 1 run and you bring in Kenley against a team like the hated Giants or the San Diego Padres or the Marlins. This is Major League Baseball. Teams can win on any given night, and that's why you love this sport. Time to try Hader next year. Look, Hader is a very he's very enticing. He's an enticing option, but Hader is a guy that he's had a drop in velo. He's had a precipitous decline in his velo. He's using his slider more, but then again, everyone in Major League Baseball is going with off-speed stuff more. That's how you avoid giving up so many home runs. But I think that we got Smoltz. Can't stand him, Vicky. Yeah, look, I mean, I don't hate Smoltz. I think Smoltz is nice, but anytime you hear Joe Davis, you expect to hear Oral Hershiser. I love their chemistry, but he wasn't too bad, but yeah, he's not as good as Oral in my opinion. Anthony, wow, watching them celebrate on our field again, not what we needed. Thanks, Kenley, from Anthony over on Facebook. Gio, I'm hurt, though. We had this. Jansen, a.k.a. Brandon League. Ouch. That just hurt me. Brian Alex, Roberts and Jansen need to go. Russell Martin for our next manager from Fabian. We got Jansen gets 2 strikes on hitters and can't get them out. Neil K. Yeah, that was the issue today. It was the put-away pitch, and that's when you like to see him be more dynamic. That's when you want to see him land that slider for strikes and throw that 4-seam fastball. If you notice a lot of times this year, he's throwing that 4-seam fastball by guys for his punch-out pitch, for a lot of his punch-out pitches, and unfortunately did not have the velo on that 4-seamer, and the cutter just was not very effective right there in that inning, and that's evidenced by 5 runs and 5 hits, and the Dodgers blow it tonight. Tonight's definitely stung. There is no question about it, but yeah, tonight really hurt. But look, the Dodgers are going to be fine. The Dodgers are going to win tomorrow, and they're going to shore up this bullpen. Because if you look at this postseason rotation, Walker Buehler is definitely the most. Look, we can talk about Kenley Jansen this, Kenley Jansen that, but the postseason rotation is all about Walker Buehler, and our success is tied to Walker Buehler's blister at this point and the health of Walker Buehler and his ability to get ramped up. If you heard Buster Only, the great Buster Only was on the latest Blue Heaven podcast hosted by the senior editors of Dodgers Nation, Brooke Smith and Clint Pasillas, and he was mentioning that, hey, he doesn't think that Walker Buehler is going to be quite ramped up in time to go deep into games and be that lights-out starter that the Dodgers need him to be. I personally think that big game Buehler is going to be ready to go when the postseason runs around, and this team needs it. So we can talk about that all night long, Kenley Jansen, but when it comes down to it, it really is all about Walker Buehler. Last year, Buehler goes 12 2/3 innings, 15 strikeouts, just 1 run. To me, Walker Buehler is the Captain America. If the Dodgers are the Avengers, he's the Captain America of this Dodgers rotation. That is who he is. He's the Steve Rogers of the Dodgers because he needs to lead this lead this starting staff and this team deep into games. And so that's definitely a factor. But if you look at Kenley Jansen tonight, not a good night, but taking a look at this postseason rotation, you're going to have Baez. And Baez had a scoreless. He gave up a hit, but he had a scoreless inning, so a nice appearance by Baez on his first time back from his groin injury. Hadn't pitched since August 11th, so that was a promising sign to see Petey Baez back there because he's been a workhorse in this Dodgers bullpen. And then you're going to get Joe Kelly back. Joe Kelly, who, like I said, the only issue I have with Joe Kelly is he did not crack Correa on that pitch. Sorry, someone had to say it. He was just doing what all Dodger fans and baseball fans wanted to do. Someone had to do it, and it was Joe Kelly. And then you're going to have Dylan Floro, who's been consistent this year. He's been a little bit of a downswing, but Caleb Ferguson, he's had, for the most part, a really solid year. His stuff looks great, sitting at 96, landing that slider. Has had an issue giving up a couple of home runs in back-to-back appearances, but he's going to be a guy who can be counted upon. And then how about you're going to have Victor Gonzalez, I think, is going to be there, then Brusdar Graterol. And so, look, this bullpen has a lot of talent, but will they get those big outs late in games? But let's bring the Wild thing back as closer. Yeah, he was a Wild thing tonight. That's what you want to bring in Wild thing. I think you're talking about Joe Kelly on that one. Cody and Muncy not producing. That's from Neil K. That is also an issue. Those were the biggest contributors last year, right? 47 bombs from Cody Bellinger, 35 home runs for Max Muncy. This year, they're not doing it, man. They're just not doing it consistently enough for this Dodgers offense. Thank God we traded for Marcus Lynn Betts. If it wasn't for Mookie Betts, this offense would not be putting up 5.6 runs per game, which is third in Major League Baseball, right? Tonight, Cody Bellinger, he did have that hit at the end. He goes 1 for 4, 2 strikeouts, leaves 2 on Cody Bellinger. And then Max Muncy, another 0 for 4 night with 2 strikeouts for Max Muncy. And that play at third on that Springer hit that proved costly there late in that game. If you look at the last 10 for Max Muncy, his last 10 going into tonight, he was slashing 143, 351, and 350 with a home run and RBI. Cody Bellinger, his last 10 heading into tonight, Cody Bellinger's last 10 heading into tonight, he was batting 143, slashing 143, 226. So they're both batting basically the same in the last 10 games. His last 10, Cody Bellinger's OPSing 369. Last year he OPSed 1,035. So you're absolutely right on that one. But yeah, let's break down this game here. Take a deep dive into it. Actually, let's jump. I'm going to go rapid fire, go crazy on the comments, guys. I know you have a lot to say tonight. Trinan can close. That's from Jay. Yeah, Blake Trinan on the year. He's pitched relatively well. Like, he gave up those runs in Arizona. He's had some nights where he against the Rockies, a couple appearances ago, he gave up 3 runs. Tonight he did a nice job. Tonight Blake Trinan, he comes in. Well, let's look at this 9th inning. So the 9th inning. Well, let's just go back to these comments, actually, guys. Jump back into this comment section, and then we'll take a deeper dive into all of tonight's action. So, seems like, thanks, Roberts, for not taking out Jansen. That's for Manny Torres. Dareth, we need to go after Francisco Lindor in the offseason. I don't know why you would think that, because Corey Seager is absolutely on fire. He continues to be on fire. Corey Seager tonight, he goes 2 for 4 tonight with a triple. His last 10, Corey Seager heading into tonight, he was slashing 324, 368, 647, OPSing over 1,000, 3 home runs, and 7 RBIs for Corey Seager. So Corey Seager is definitely the guy I want to roll with. I'm not too worried about Francisco Lindor. Tonight we had enough runs to win. It wasn't an offensive explosion by any stretch, but we definitely scored enough runs to win. And I don't think that there is some magic elixir out there for an offense, as a Dodgers offensive player. I don't think there really is. I really think that this team, if it needs to look at anything, it should look at arms, and we're talking starting pitching, and we're talking potential bullpen pieces. Because, look, save for that Game 7 where we lost 5-1 to this trash team, the Dodger offense has been producing runs at a really prolific rate during this entire run. It's really the pitching that's let us down in most cases. Actually, the Red Sox series, it was really offense for a lot of those games. But play like this, the Padres will roll us. That's from Drew Simpson. Dude, let's talk about who we have for closers besides Jansen. Yeah, Joseph Megazzini. Seager giving Betts a run for MVP. I tend to disagree with that one. I think that Corey Seager is having a phenomenal year. There's no question about it. Corey Seager has reached elite territory once again, and that's something that makes all Dodger fans happy. But I still think Mookie Betts is the MVP of the league. Other than the fact that he leads the league in WAR, if you look at this team, Corey Seager, if you look at hits, they're both tied with 51 hits. So you got me on that one. Corey Seager, more doubles than Mookie Betts. He has 10 doubles. Mookie Betts has 8 triples. He's got more triples. He has 1 triple, the one he got tonight, and Mookie Betts has 0. But if you look at that home run number, Mookie Betts 14 home runs. Corey Seager right behind him with 12. Both have 33 RBIs. Mookie Betts has him on the walks. Mookie Betts has taken 22 free passes this year compared to Corey Seager's 12. Strikeouts, Mookie Betts has actually struck out more than Corey Seager this year. Mookie Betts, 2 punch-outs in a row. The first one to start tonight's game off on 3 consecutive pitches. And if you look at average, Mookie Betts is hitting 302, Corey Seager 319. And then if you look at OPS, Corey Seager has him on OPS. So a big night. And if you want to make a case for MVP, and if you want to make a case for Corey Seager winning MVP over Mookie Betts, tonight was a good night for you. But Mookie Betts tonight, he goes 1 for 3. He takes a walk, had those 2 strikeouts. But both are phenomenal players, and hey, I hope that Corey Seager creeps up into that MVP conversation. Corey Seager, he did have that injury stint, so he's played like 3 or 4 less games than Mookie Betts, but I think that Mookie will finish strong, and I think you see the impact that Mookie has had on this team as far as leadership goes, as far as holding everyone accountable. I hope Mookie Betts is in that locker room, and he's talking some smack to his team to get them riled up, because the Dodgers, they should have won tonight's game, and there's no question about it. But hey, I'll take Corey Seager for MVP. I would love to see that. Here we go. We got My Stomach Hurts from San Carlos. Ray Barcimian, don't give up on this team, folks. I have a feeling that when the season ends, the Dodgers will be the final team standing. Yeah, no one's giving up on this team, but that's what we do on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. We look for how this team can get better, right? How can this team improve? And tonight was an example of where this Dodger team could struggle, and that's in that last inning when they need to lock things up. I thought that Kenley, it was going to be like the Arizona outing where he gave up some runs, but the Dodgers ultimately won, and it was going to be like Fast and the Furious. It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Unfortunately, Houston comes all the way back, and that's what happens. But, look, unfortunately, the Dodgers lose tonight, and it was a tough loss. And, look, hey, man, it's okay, because tomorrow they're going to win tomorrow's game. They're going to split this, and the Dodgers are going to have a renewed sense of focus in this last 2 weeks. Because, look, man, like what Batman said, our greatest glory is not falling, but in rising every time we fall. And that's the Dodgers mentality. Yes, they've gotten knocked down a few times the last couple of years, but this team is resilient. And I think this Dodger team, look, this wasn't a playoff game, but it just felt like it meant more because we saw that disgusting color orange and those trash throws over there bringing their trophy that's faker than the fans in the stands right now. And unfortunately, tonight one definitely stung. But let's jump into all the action in tonight's game here, because there was some good. I don't want to just focus on the negative all night. We definitely can, though. Let's do about 10 more comments, then we'll take a look at the action tonight. We got Padres are trash from RB. We got Jewel. We got Wilfredo. Great show for letting us vent from Wilfredo. Shout out to Wilfredo. How's it going, man? We got okay, cool. We got, come on, Roberts, you got to be better in calling the bullpen. Yeah, we've discussed that at length tonight, that once you get to that third run, get someone up and get another option, because there are viable options out in that Dodger pen. And unfortunately, Kenley did not have it tonight, and it was too late. 5 runs, 5 hits, recording 0 outs tonight. That's Kenley waking up feeling dangerous, and unfortunately did not get it done. Andrew, sorry, but Jansen cannot be counted on. Tino, that's what hurts. They celebrate at home. By the way, if you want to feel good about something, I know we got a lot of Laker fans out there. Lakers won it in 5, so it wasn't all a bad night. LA took care of Houston in another sport, so at least that's some positive news. The purple and gold got it done, but this one hurt. Ray Barcimian and Ted Williams would like the Astros because they had to cheat at the plate to win. Astros. We got Roberts is just Robert Jesus. This was familiar. I'm here. I don't know what to say from Landon Sports Talk. I'm here. I don't know what to say, man. I'm disappointed, man. Jansen can't be our closer in the postseason. It seems like the consensus is you don't want to see Jansen out there on a regular basis in the postseason. For the most part, I agree with you, but I think you got to keep a short leash. I think if you're going to throw him out there, it's got to be with a short leash in situations where you know he can have success, and if he does not have it, you don't think twice. And if you want to do closer by committee, I totally understand that. Jansen can't be closer. Come on, man, from Nicholas. We need Hater from Deborah Young. What's up, Deborah Young? A day one here on the Dodgers Nation. Maura O'Brien, when all is said and done, tonight is over, but the series isn't. Tomorrow is another day. That's what I love about Maura O'Brien over on Facebook, always bringing that positive energy, that much-needed positive energy, because, hey, I knew it wasn't going to be the most rational comments here, but you know what? I don't care, because you guys are Dodgers Nation. You bring those fire takes. You keep it rough, rugged, and raw, and that's what I love about Dodgers Nation. You bring the real here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. So get out your thoughts, because the hotter the take, the better it is. You'll hear it on the podcast coming out tomorrow. I don't see Jansen closing out games in the World Series. Thomas, there is no dissent in San Diego. That's the problem. Yeah, their bullpen has turned around quite a bit. They're scoring runs. They're on fire at the plate. But, hey, we're not losing to the San Diego Padres in the playoffs. If we play the Padres, I don't care what has to happen. The Dodgers will not lose to the San Diego Padres in the postseason. I'm going out on a limb there, but it's going to be body slam Diego'd by the Dodgers. I think that's going to be how it's going to go down. And, look, I don't want to say I'm happy that we're not playing our best baseball right now. But, look, you don't want to peak right now. You want to peak in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, that's what you want to turn it up. You want to get guys healthy, want to get guys a rhythm, and then when the postseason comes around, then you start then you start really firing on all cylinders. And I think this Dodger team can do that. Look, I'm telling you, Justin Turner, he is a pivotal part of what this team does from a leadership standpoint. He's got a calming influence on the guys. He brings that locker room energy. And look, he's just a clutch hitter. And when he hits, this team wins. And I think that getting him back and getting Muncy out of third. Muncy is basically jockeying up third base. And if you know what I mean, if you saw Jock Peterson play first last year, unfortunately, that's just what's happening. We got Patrick Gagne. Someone told me a few weeks ago that Kenley wasn't the same closer he was 4 weeks ago. I'm starting to believe it. Joe Perez, if we don't hit, I have another story. Trent, but he still body slam Diego from Roxanne. You love it. Hey, what's up, Roxanne, over on Facebook? He should have left Baez in from Deborah Young. I think, look, Pedro Baez came in there. He did his thing. Let's jump. Here we go. Padres are going to outscore the Dodgers from Neil K. I hope that doesn't happen. That would be their route to winning the Dodgers. If they mash this Dodgers pitching staff, that is what you worry about because they've got guys that can rake over there. They got one of the young, most talented players in the game, and the only guy that's really giving Mookie Betts and now, like Joe Magazzini said, Corey Seager a run for their money as far as the MVP goes. But yeah, that's definitely, if you're gonna have a concern, there we go. Michelle Carter, Doug, really, where does he have success at this point? Jansen has success when he doesn't phase many players. He should be a bullpen guy, not a lights-out closer. Yeah, Michelle Carter, I'm in agreement with you on that one, but I don't think, like I said, I led the show with, can we count on Kenley Jansen in the postseason? The answer is no. I'll reiterate that there. But I do think if there's a certain situation that you want to bring guys out there, look, in the last couple years in the postseason, other than Aroldis Chapman, look what happened to Kimbrel in Boston. You've had guys have meltdowns, and it was closer by committee. If there's a certain matchup, and if Kenley's feeling a groove, I wouldn't be opposed to using him in certain situations. But hey, if you watch this show all season long, I was flirting with the idea of Blake Trinan and Joe Kelly if there was going to be a closer other than Kenley Jansen. So, hey, you're preaching to the choir. I'm not married to Kenley Jansen as a closer, and I love what he's done with this franchise, and he's going to go down as the all-time leader in saves. But we all know that he's had his struggles, and tonight was another example that Kenley Jansen is a guy you have to keep a close eye on. And if he's slumping at the wrong time, you do have to really reconsider your options at the bullpen spot. But that's to say that he hasn't been look at his ERA heading into tonight was sub-2 with a whip under 1, and he had 10 saves. So to act like Kenley Jansen has been a bust all season long, that's just incorrect. That narrative doesn't exist. He hasn't been, but his last 4 starts, his last 4 appearances, he has been rather shaky. And like I said, tonight it all came to a head, and that bubble burst. Now, if you look at some of the metrics when it comes to Kenley Jansen and where he's struggling, 2019, they were hitting 232 off his cutter. This year, hitting 176. So there are certain areas where he has improved, but a lot of people made a lot about his increased velocity. His cutter, 91.1 miles per hour this year. Last year, it was 91.7. So his cutter's actually declined in velocity. The four-seamer this year, 92.5 miles per hour. Last year, it was averaging 93.1 miles per hour. So the idea that he's rearing back there and he's this new pitcher because he has an increased velocity, that's just not true. So, yeah, it was just a bad night, man. Like, I'm not going to lie. It was not a Game 7 of the World Series, but to see them celebrate on that Dodger Stadium field, look, every time they hit a ground ball out, and the Dodgers hit a ground ball out, whether it be third or to second, I had some nightmare flashbacks. But the Dodgers are going to be fine. The Dodgers are still way out in front. Not way out in front. The Dodgers are still in the hunt for the World Series title. And this year, you're going to see some wacky stuff. I'm going to prepare you right now. If you're just looking for a normal postseason, it's not going to be this year because you're going to get that 3-game series and you're going to see a lot of wacky stuff in this year's postseason. Hopefully the Dodgers prevail. I still love the Dodgers' chances to have a deep postseason run and hoist that commissioner's trophy at the very end. But look, if we're just being completely honest, you just don't know in a shortened season playing in a bubble how things are going to go down. And to me, that's how I like it. Hey, I don't know if that's how I like my sports. I mean, if you want to watch something where you know the answers to, watch a movie you've already seen too, or read a book you've already read. Like, the great thing about baseball is it's a sport where you can have a team that started 19-31 and win a World Series like last year's Nationals. So, Dodgers deep postseason run. Are you delusional? From Train. Michelle Carter 5-1 was an angry moment to me. Absolutely. We got Brett Mason. You don't gamble, obviously. We got, I guess you go with letting them struggle then in the postseason with 3.5 games. Look, I think the Dodgers can turn it around and finish this season strong, and I think that that's good for the Dodgers. The Dodgers have been coasting for weeks now, and to have some relevant baseball games. Look, they go to Arizona. They were playing the last-place team in the league, and they still took 2 out of 3. Tonight was a wake-up call for the Dodgers, and they need to find a way to get that adrenaline going and realize that the postseason is 2 weeks away, and I think the Dodgers are very aware of that, and having relevant baseball is good for this team. Look, you don't want to be so out in front that you don't have anything to play for. The fact that the Dodgers have a lot to play for is going to require them to bring it each and every night, and that's going to help this team. So we got Train. By the way, Train, did you ever tell me what team you're a fan of? I forgot last time. I think you said the Padres, right? Train's a big diehard Padres fan in the comments section. Fire Roberts before he messes up this season again from Careless. We got Brian Alex. Come on, Jansen. 5-2. Can't even get the least one, dude. What WTF? Luis, seriously, almost every time Jansen comes in, I get nervous. I know I'm not the only one. It looks like he's pitching batting practice out there. That's from Freddie. That's from Luis over on Facebook. Dareth, we got Jansen broke my heart all the way up here in Montana from Brandon Hicks. Ray Bar-Simeon, this will be a replay of the 1988 World Series. Dodgers over A's in 7. Hey, call your shot. Train, Doug, stop playing. What up, Train? I'm messing with you, man. You know I love you, bro. Dodgers must sweep San Diego. Look, hey, man, I don't know about you guys. I'm stoked. I'm ready for that series. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for a rivalry in the NL West. Because, look, for the majority of this run has been the Dodgers and the rest in the NL West, and we're playing the Padres in a game that's a highly anticipated division matchup that's going to have playoff implications, and I'm here for it. So if you guys, if people don't want to have if they want to win the division by 10 games and be able to rest starters, hey, I'm not really about that life. I think this team, a little adversity is good for this Dodgers team. Here we go. But yeah, let's. How much time are we at? 42 minutes. Yeah. So, yeah, a couple, breakdown. We talk about Julio Urias. Like, by the way, let's end on a positive note here. How do you guys feel about Julio Urias' outing? So, Julio Urias on the night, Julio goes 6 innings pitched, 1 run on 3 hits, 3 strikeouts, 4 walks, 96 pitches, 64 for strikes, 14 for 23 on first pitch strikes. And look, tonight, yes, Julio's capable of pitching much better than he did tonight. 3 strikeouts, 4 walks, just 7 swings and misses. But he found a way to get to 7 innings, and Dave Roberts found a way to stay in the dugout and let him pitch into the 6th inning. I think Dave Roberts, when it comes to the starters, they need to get a seatbelt for that dugout. If a pitcher is rolling, you got to let him go deeper into games because you don't want to tax this bullpen to the point where they're blowing games like you saw tonight. So Kenley, for Urias, I think it was, for the most part, he did well. He was throwing strikes. He was getting ahead in the count. He was inducing that marshmallow soft contact that you want to see from Julio Urias. And, yes, there were some leadoff walks there. And that first inning was really the deciding inning for him. He comes out. His first inning ERA is 7.88 and 2.76 after that. The first inning, Springer doubles off Urias. Bregman, he gets a weak, pathetic fly out to left. And Brantley hits a sharp one to Kike. He makes a nice diving stop to take away a base hit and then save a run for the second out. And then he fell down behind he then fell behind 3-0 to Gurriel. Urias was missing with his fastball. Gurriel lifts a curveball into center. Kike attempted an over-the-shoulder catch, and it was just out of reach. So not a hard hit ball, but unfortunately that's how they got their first run. So the Astros, they strike first blood. They go ahead 1-0. And then on a 1-2 count, Urias gets Walker swinging with some high cheddar. So 1 run, 2 hits. They leave a man. It was 1-0 Astros after 1. 19 pitches in that first inning. 12 for strikes. He was 2 for 5 on first pitch strike. So Julio Urias, he just has to get ramped up for that first inning. If he can get out of it, he could be a starter the Dodgers can count on, I think. I'm still very high on Julio Urias. We got, if Dave Roberts doesn't win the World Series, he's got to go. That's from Ramiro. We got Freddie. Astros came in, bent the Dodgers over, no Vaseline. Not even some courtesy spit, just straight raw dog. Okay, this is some X-rated stuff right there. Urias did well overall from Deborah Young. We got Fabian. Tell Bellinger to quit making friends at first base and focus on hitting. Gio. Yeah, they were tough, but we have a lot of success against our division. Yeah, and then the top of the second, Correa, he hits one deep to left for the first out. Diaz lines to left for the second out. Reddick, easily infield pop. So a 10-pitch second for Urias. And then bottom of the second. So Max Muncy, he goes down swinging on a Valdez curve for the first out. So the Dodgers, issues with lefties, issues with off-speed pitches, and particularly curveballs. And tonight was another bad night in that department. Then Will Smith, who showed Will Smith some love. Will Smith definitely has been raking of late. Will Smith, heading into tonight, his last 10, he was hitting .500 with 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. He was 9 for his last 18. He singles to left for the Dodgers' first base runner of the game. Bellinger, he gets under one that just kept carrying to the warning track for out number 2. And then Chris Taylor, he goes deep on Valdez with an oppo shot to give the Dodgers a 2-1 lead. And then Kike Hernandez, he follows that up with his own oppo bomb to make it 3-1. So 2 pitches, 2 home runs. And the 7-8 hitters in the Dodgers lineup, getting production from that 7-8 spot is going to be critical in the postseason. So they take a 3-1 lead. And the Dodgers, that's what they were supposed to do tonight. I wanted to see them go off on Valdez. He has a 7.07 ERA in the month of September, so unfortunately they didn't put up more runs on him. And then in the top of the third, a leadoff walk to Maldonado. Springer lines to left for the first out. Bregman grounds into a double play. Bottom of the third, Mookie Betts strikes out. Corey Seager triples on a line drive to center. Pollock brings him home with a sac fly to right. Then Max Muncy grounds out for the third out. That Seager smoker and that productive out by A.J. Pollock and the Dodgers. They were up 4-1. They were cruising. And then in the top of the fourth, another solid inning for Julio Urias. He gets Brantley to fly out to left for the first out. Gurriel walks. Kyle Tucker pops out for the second out. And then Will Smith guns down Brantley trying to steal second to get the Dodgers out of the inning. Top of the fifth, a run, 2 hits. And top of the fifth, after that first inning, he had faced the minimum up until that point for Julio Urias, and he punched out Reddick on a fastball. Then on the 8th pitch of the at-bat, he gets Maldonado looking at a change for strike 3. So that top of the fifth got into a little bit of trouble there by that leadoff walk to Correa. It was his third of the game at that point, and he gets out of that inning. So the Dodgers, their last run came in the bottom of the fifth. So Kike flies to right for the first out. Lux goes down swinging for the second. Mookie walks. And then Corey Seager, he takes some chin music from Valdez. Can we talk about that for a second? Because he had to do his best, Neo, to avoid that one. It was some chin music. And I want to see what Rob Manfred is going to do for Valdez. I think that he's going to end up eventually adding maybe 10 more games to Joe Kelly's suspension, because he'll probably blame Joe Kelly for starting this drama with the Dodgers and Astros, and that was Valdez's retaliation. Look, I know it just got away, but still. Then he singles on a ground ball to left to score Mookie to make it 5-1. Then Mookie did, by the way, great job by Mookie Betts. He did a great job getting that secondary lead. And, of course, he scores because he's Mookie Betts. Not very many guys score on a hit like that. But all this guy does is cross home plate Mookie Betts. So A.J. Pollock, he goes down swinging for the third out. But the Dodgers, they played another run. The Dodgers played it another run in that fifth inning to make it 5-1, and that's when it seemed like it was all going to be good for the Dodgers, and they were going to run away with this one. But unfortunately, that ninth inning was a nightmare ninth inning for the Dodgers. 5 runs in that inning. The Dodgers dropped tonight 7-5. Tomorrow you're gonna have a bullpen game for the Dodgers. Will the Dodgers win tomorrow? Let me know down below in the comments. Yes, put win or lose. Let me know. Will the Dodgers get the split tomorrow? I think the Dodgers come out and they get an angry win after what happened tonight. But let me know down below in the comments before we head out here. Let me squeeze in some more comments here. But yeah, thanks again for rocking with us here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. We look forward to I look forward to you joining us tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow right after the game. Hopefully, we'll be celebrating a Dodger win, but let me know down below in the comments. Jose Rod must win tomorrow. Can we trade Danny over there on Periscope? Can we trade Kenley for a six-pack? Not even a six-pack. No, for a tall boy, not even a six-pack. You guys are down on Kenley Jansen, but guess what? This show is for you guys to let off all your raw emotion. The sky is not falling, but the Dodgers, a bad loss tonight, no question about it. Landon, heartbroken tonight, but going to move on to tomorrow. Dodgers tend to score early and don't hit in late innings. That one artist, the most concerning about Kenley is he didn't even record one out. Yeah, he basically got shelled. He got shelled in that inning, and it wasn't even rock-hard contact, but hey, some of those hits off the barrel of the bat there, but unfortunately, Brian Alex, knowing Roberts is going to out Kenley in the playoffs, Smoltz was like with Mitch Williams. Gio, we got can't imagine Roberts making good decisions in a bullpen game tomorrow. That's from Seth. We got Steve. Where the Dodgers go from here? Muncy has to play first. Who plays third until JT is healthy? JT will DH hopefully starting Monday. What's the role of Jansen, the three batter rule, handcuffs manager when the pitcher's off? Will be tough to win tomorrow, bullpen day. Dodgers need to win 8 out of their next 14 to have a chance to win the division. Go Dodgers. That's from Steven Latner over on Facebook, breaking it down. Made some great points in that one for sure. We hope Wilfredo. Hey, come on, Wilfredo. Well, let's get this win. We need that positive energy over there. Trinan is a good closer. Bruzdar is my pick. That's from Train. Bruce Davis, yeah, it's going to be a bullpen game for the Dodgers tomorrow, so we're going to see how it's going to go down. If you remember the Dodgers, that second game of a doubleheader against the Giants. So, but here we go. May as the very long. Interesting. I think that Gonsolin. I think that he can be an effective starter, but I like Gonsolin's stuff as a closer. I think he could be a lights-out closer. That's all I'm going to say. Tryon needs to be the new closer from Brian Alex. But, yeah, Hater as closer replying. But, yeah, guys, thanks again. As always, I know it was a tough loss. This one stung. This one hurts. We got beat by the Cheats tonight. Tomorrow is a new day. The Dodgers will prevail in Game 2. And the Dodgers, they have a lot of stuff that they need to work on in the last couple weeks if they want to win this division and take some momentum into the postseason. But we'll be here to break it down for you right after tomorrow's game. So join us for the Dodgers Nation post-game show. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me at DMac_LA on Twitter and Instagram. That's at DMac_LA. Thanks for rocking with us. I know it was a tough one. Dodgers, they dropped tonight's game 7-5, but tomorrow's a new day to beat the Astros. But thanks again, guys. Have a great rest of your night, and I'm out.